Hello, my brothers and sisters in nerdiness, and welcome back to the Spider's Web. Shaky start there, I do apologise for that. In this video we're going to be painting this Redemptionist from the Cawdor faction of Games Workshop's Necromunda. But I will not be talking through the full paint job because I just want to have a chat about something. A couple of days ago I had a message on one of my previous Necromunda videos which was deleted. At least I think it was deleted. I saw it in my notifications and when I went to look for it, it wasn't there. So I'm assuming whoever asked the question deleted it. And it was all to do with Varnishing. When you see the skeleton tapping its fingers with the word wait underneath, it's usually because I'm waiting for the speed paints to dry. And I usually show a can of gloss varnish and a can of matte varnish. And the question was something on the lines of, why do you use gloss varnish and then a matte varnish? Why not just use a matte varnish? Well, before I get on to what I want to talk about with this video, I'm going to answer that question. I use a gloss varnish to protect the paint. The gloss varnish will always protect a paint job much better than satin and matte. It's very hard wearing, very tough. It's also glossy. It basically is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a gloss varnish. It gives a glossy finish, which you don't want on the majority of models. So because of that, I spray the gloss over it to protect the paintwork. It stops the speed paints from reactivating, and I'm able to paint over the top without smudging or anything, and it keeps the paint where it was, keeps it set. I then go over with a matte varnish to remove the shine. Simple as, because a matte varnish is very poor protection for paintwork. Now, since I got that message, I've been thinking about this hobby. I've been thinking about how people feel about this hobby, especially as at the moment I'm painting a mini that doesn't belong to me. I'm painting it for somebody else who, in their words, I can't paint. I've tried, I just can't do it. To which my thoughts is, that's a pile of fetid dingo's kidneys, to quote Douglas Adams. I don't believe in any stretch of the imagination I can't paint is a valid statement. I believe that everybody has the ability to paint. If you can hold a brush, if you can see where you've put the paint on a palette, you can paint. The thing is, can you paint as good as somebody else? If the answer to that is no, that's fine. That is more than fine. If you can paint to a degree that you are happy with the work that you've done, you have enjoyed the experience of painting a mini, and you feel the satisfaction that you've completed something and created something that is purely your own, then you can paint. It doesn't matter if your paintwork is as good as Joe Blogs on Instagram, who's been professionally trained, who knows all the colour theory, who can draw the eyes of a gnat at 2 yards. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's them. They paint their strengths. They are there to show how our painted mini can look. The majority, if not all, people who paint minis will offer advice. They will tell you how what you should do from their experience of how it helps them. The thing is, that's okay, but again, you are not them. You may not be able to work the same way as them. I don't work the same way as someone like the Mini Witch, who, watching her videos, she will show you how she gets on her tablets and plans out all her colours beforehand and then works to that. That works for her. She's brilliant at paint jobs. I'm taking nothing away from her for that. She can advise to do that. That's brilliant. You know, she's helping people to get the best out of their paint jobs. I'm a big fan of Mini Witch. I'm a big fan of, Ninja and Miniac and all them, because they're doing things and painting minis and inspiring people to try and improve their painting techniques. I'm an idiot with a paintbrush who's just slapping colours on and hoping for the best, and hoping that people will like what I do. That's the way I see it. Basically, the way I excused my YouTube channel when I first started was I'm trying to take the mystery out of painting and make it as simple as I can for people to just pick up a brush, get some paints, and make start colouring in the lumps of plastic or resin or metal or MDF, whatever they have. That's how I started out. I use words like, in this case, you get the yellow and you just slap it on here, and that's it. I just tried to make it as simple as I could. And I know that people have commented, people have left me a message saying that I have inspired them to pick up a paintbrush and start, and that is, that's personally what I wanted for this channel. I've had about 5 or 6 people over the years saying that I've inspired them to pick up a paintbrush. Brilliant. I'm so pleased. I see any one person who picks up a paintbrush after watching one of my painting videos, I see that as a huge success for the channel. I don't care all that much about, it's more important to me than monetizing my videos, or anything like that. To me, inspiring someone to pick up a paintbrush and get going is the idea for this channel, or one of them anyway. The other reason I started this channel was for it to be a library of my learning, as it were, because I don't believe that once you get to a certain level you stop learning. You may be the best painter out there, but there's always a new technique you could learn. There's always a new product on the market that you could learn how to use. You never stop learning. More importantly, you're never as good as somebody else. There's always going to be someone who is better at painting than you are. So don't compare yourself. In order to be good at painting, you need two things. This is not just painting miniatures. This is painting a wall, this is painting a door, this is painting a picture. In fact, this could be applied to any craft, any DIY. The key is the two things you need is not skill, it's desire to do it and the willingness to spend time to give it a go. That's all you need. Nothing can stop you but you. You don't need to be the best painter out there. You don't even need to be a good painter. You just need to be good enough for you. And if you're just starting, blocking in colours could just be good enough for you. You don't need to highlight. But as long as you're willing to put the time in, to spend time learning new techniques, which is what I meant by putting the time in earlier. If you can spend the time doing it, learning new techniques, and just spending time painting, spending time on the hobby, you'll realise how much fun, how relaxing it can be. Don't get me wrong, it can be very frustrating as well, especially if your colours aren't going on, especially if like for example, we've had some really hot days here and the paint's been drying on my brush very quickly, and you know, it's been a struggle to paint. Those days can be very frustrating, but as long as you realise what the issue is, you make adjustments, or you just walk away and come back when it's cooler or when the time is right. Speaking of adjustments though, there is no such thing as the final mark. I put these marks down. I'm happy with how they look. If I wasn't happy with how they looked, I'll just paint over them with a darker colour and do it again. Painting is all about adjustments. If something's too dark, you add a little bit of a paler colour in. If something's too light, add a little bit of darker colour. If you've gone over some white with purple, just go over the purple bit that you've caught with white again to re-establish the white colour. If you've mixed white in with red and suddenly it turns pink and you can't work out why, that's because you've used white and red and yeah, okay, a little bit of colour theory is handy. It's not essential. I don't plan anything when I come around to painting. I just pick colours up as I see and hope it works. That technique doesn't work for everybody. As I've said before, some people like to plan out, others just get on, others like me just get on with it. For those who like to plan it out, it works for them, so good on you. Keep it up, enjoy the hobby. For those who, like me, can just get on with it, just pick colours at random and hope for the best, then again, good on you. Keep going, enjoy the hobby. As long as you enjoy what you're doing, as long as you're happy with what you're doing, that's all that should ever matter. Other people's opinions shouldn't matter. If you're doing this just for a tabletop game that you can just play with your friends, the quality of paintwork doesn't matter as long as you've enjoyed the time that you spend sitting there with a little paintbrush and your paints and your little bit of plastic or resin or whatever it may be. At this point I want to just say that thanks to Army Painter for sending out these metallic colour sets for me. As you can see from the Army Painter logos come up, this is one of the paints from that set. They were sent to me free of charge. Every time you see this Army Painter logo, that is the reason. So, the idea that you can't paint is just the same as taste. It's subjective. I say I can't paint. I just slap colours on and hope for the best. Am I right or am I wrong? There's the question. If I was wrong and I just do that, then why would Andy ask me to paint these minis for him? But if Andy's right and I do a good job at painting, why do I feel as though I can't paint? Is that because looking at other mini painters, my paint jobs don't look as vivid, don't look as brightly coloured or as epic as theirs? Who cares? I'm happy with the quality of my work. I often say don't worry about copying other people's work. I keep getting messages about putting a list of paints up, which I used to do, but I stopped because I show the paints that I use. Each time I use a new paint, I'll show the paint that I use, and that should be enough as it goes on. If you're watching the video, then you should be able to make notes as it goes. But the main thing is that I try to do is get people to paint the way they want their minis to look, not the way I paint. Copying people is a good way to start. It's not the only way to start. The best way to start is get some paints, get a brush, get a model, and get on with it. That way, you can't say you can't paint. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Join us next time. Until then, stay safe and take care. God bless and bye for now.